do you develop a learner's mindset? First, you decide. The journey of 1,000 steps, they say, starts with, well, they say a step, but I would say it starts with a decision to first take a step. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a decision to first take a step. So your first step is to decide. Make up your mind. And this is where it gets interesting. There is a whole world of difference between having the knowledge, knowing that this thing is beneficial for me, and then doing it. It's a whole different ballgame. It's a whole different ballgame for you to know that paying my taxes is good as a citizen. It's another thing entirely to pay it consistently. Why? In other climes, they will tell you, the taxpayers will tell you that I am paying this tax. I think there was this survey that happened, that did in Norway or the Netherlands, I think, where they did a survey and they found out how what motivated people to pay their taxes, because they had very few amount of people reneging on their taxes, right? And then they found out that the people who were paying their taxes were happy doing so. Why? Because they said, for every tax I pay, I see it in the level of security that my country is able to procure for me. I can walk in my neighborhood in the middle of the night knowing that I am safe. I can turn on my tap knowing that water will always flow out of it. I can turn on my heater knowing that it can heat my water. I can on my switch or my house heater knowing that it is working reliably. I pay my tax happily because I know that there are incentives the government will give me when I want to open a business or when I want to do this and that and that. So there are incentives. So it comes from a place of understanding, knowing that when I do this, this is the outcome I get. So when you subject your mind to reading good books, you know the outcome you get is not just a stuffed up head. The outcome you get is a rewired mind, a mind that is able to stick to things for the long term, a mind that it has been trained to see the world differently, above the limitations of your geography, a mind that is able to connect with people across several cultures without ever physically visiting those countries in person, a mind that is able to have wholesome conversations with people, build strong, solid relationships because you know so much that you can relate with anybody from any field. A mind that is able to see solutions when others see problems, because there is a repository of knowledge that tells you that this is an opportunity. This thing is not a problem it looks like. This is an opportunity for me to get better. So there has to be that residual understanding first. Decide to become a reader. Second, decide why you want to become a reader. Like I was telling you earlier, why do you want to read? Why do you want to develop a reading habit? You might tell yourself, within the next 5 years, I want to be one of the renowned names in this particular industry. I want to be able to raise my children in a way that they don't get into teenagehood and we become enemies. Because that's what happened in so many settings today, right? You're friends with the kids from the beginning. Parents will tell you that. They know that for sure. It's based off of research and experience. But when they get into teenagehood, things fall apart. So you tell yourself, okay, what do I have to know as a parent to be able to remain friends with my daughter when she starts high school? Because I don't want to lose her. What do I have to know to be able to train my son, to be able to train my daughter in a good way so that she can be a contributor to society, not a problem? What do I have to do to increase my ability to earn within the next 6 months, within the next 7 months, within the next 1 year? Why do you want to become a reader? You have to get that why, because there's a saying that if your why is strong enough, you can overcome anyhow. If your why is strong enough, you can overcome anyhow. So have a reason. This is the version of this is the version of Betty I want to see in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year. This is the version of Alhamdu I want to see in the next 10 years. This is the version of Nifemi I want to be. This is the version of Sheun I want to be. Right? So you are able to tell yourself, this is the version of Solomon, Thor, I want to be. This is the version of Joy, okay, I want to become. This is the version of Emmanuel Abba. This is the version of Marcelina I want to become within the next 1 year. You have that why in mind. Decide it. Then the third step, where most people start from. And that's why they don't get the results. The third step, prove it to yourself every day by reading, no matter how little. Prove it to yourself. After you have decided to say, Aisha, I have decided to be a learner. And I want to be able to leverage good books for that journey. Why do I want to do this? I want to be known as the best professional in this particular field within the next 2 to 3 years. I want to be able to be given a mic at a panel session that for the 2 minutes that I speak, after that session, my audience will see how much value I bring to the table. Opportunities will open up. And this is how it happens for most people, quite honestly. Because if you start preparing in the days of your opportunities, you are preparing too late. You prepare before the opportunity comes. So you tell yourself, okay, Benjamin, this is why I want to become a reader. This is why Bobby, want to become a reader. This is why Daniel, want to be a reader. This is why Essay. This is why Fatai. This is why Glory. This is why Goodness, want to do this. This is why I want to become a reader. This is why Graham. This is why John Stone, want to be a reader. You decide it for yourself, and then you prove it to yourself every single day, no matter how little. Underline the word no matter how the term, no matter how little, because when you're building a habit, it's not so much about intensity. It's mostly about consistency. That's why I told you earlier that when you're building a habit, consistency is not necessarily about discipline. It is about creativity and adaptability. There are days where you cannot read 50 pages, where I cannot read 50 pages, no matter how much I try. I can't. You see that? Because life gets in the way. But the first thing I do in the morning after doing my morning routine, my exercise and all that, I take that book and I sit and I'm reading. There's a funny story of one of my mentors who tells me that he has a toilet book. So on his way to the toilet, to the convenience in his house, there's a platform where he places the book upside down, like open, you understand, to the page where he's currently reading, and here he puts it. So anytime he's going to ease himself, he carries the book, he leaves his phone, carries the book, and as he's reading. And before he comes out, 10 pages are gone. You see that? And that's how the toilet book finishes. He finishes the toilet book in a matter of 10 days or so. He's done. And that's not the only book he's reading. There are several other books he's reading. I'll also be showing you why it's important to read multiple books, so that multiple of different genre. Maybe reading a work of fiction so that that can help you go to bed, wake up in the morning, you read strong, something very strong, maybe like a self-help, in the night when you're about retiring to bed, you read something soft like a novel. When you are going to take a dump, like that mentor of mine I told you about that has a toilet book, you can put another book there, right? So that it keeps you engaged because boredom is real. All right? Boredom is real. You don't have to stick to one book and finish it before you say, oh, yes, I finished the book. No. You see, somebody's already getting a deliverance already. Huh? So prove it to yourself every day by reading, no matter how little.